It's ridiculous. It's an absolute mess what's going on, and I can't wait for a general election. In fact, I can't wait for the
Jim Davidson just exposed what Keir Starmer and David Lammy didn't want you to know, live on air. You're not going to believe what just happened. Comedian and outspoken commentator Jim Davidson just set the political world buzzing again. What started as a light conversation on his live stream took a sharp turn when Davidson began talking about Keir Starmer and David Lammy, and let's just say, he didn't hold back. People were expecting jokes, but what they got instead was a moment that's now everywhere. Something doesn't add up, Davidson said, leaning back in his chair during his Friday night broadcast. He wasn't shouting, he wasn't angry, but the tone said it all. Calm, deliberate, almost surgical. And that's when he dropped the line that's now echoing across social media. He said, "They talk about transparency, but sometimes the loudest voices in politics have the most to hide." The comment was vague but powerful. Within minutes, clips started spreading like wildfire. The words Starmer and Lammy were trending on X, formerly Twitter. Viewers wanted to know, what exactly was he talking about? Let's rewind for a second. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, has built his image around honesty, order, and accountability. He presents himself as the man cleaning up politics, the one bringing professionalism back to government. And David Lammy, his Foreign Secretary, has been one of the loudest defenders of that same message, insisting that Labour represents stability and decency after chaos. But here's where things get complicated. 4 months now, whispers inside Westminster have suggested that not everyone in the Labour ranks agrees with how open their leadership really is. Some aides have spoken quietly about decisions being made behind closed doors, and about the growing tension between Starmer's inner circle and those who feel shut out. So when Jim Davidson made that comment calling out the appearance of hidden agendas, it hit a nerve. Because, whether you love or hate his comedy, Davidson's audience is big, loyal, and unfiltered. And when someone like him says what others are too afraid to, people listen. He didn't name any specific incident. He didn't accuse anyone of crimes or corruption. But he did raise a question that many voters have been silently asking. Are we really getting the full truth from this government? That's the kind of sentence that cuts deeper than any headline. Now, let's talk about reactions. Within an hour of the stream ending, political commentator Julia Hartley-Brewer reposted the clip, saying, "You can disagree with Davidson all you want, but when even comedians are questioning the government's honesty, that says something." Others chimed in. One user on X wrote, "Jim's just said what millions of us feel, that politics today feels staged, managed, and disconnected." But not everyone was impressed. Supporters of Starmer and Lammy quickly fired back, calling the remark cheap theater and a publicity stunt. A Labour spokesperson reportedly told The Independent that the government has nothing to hide, adding that people looking to stir drama where none exists should perhaps look closer at their own motives. Still, the story didn't die. In fact, it's grown louder with every passing hour. Because underneath the soundbites and social media noise, there's a bigger issue here. And it's not just about Jim Davidson, or Starmer, or Lammy. It's about trust. For years, British voters have swung between frustration and fatigue. From Brexit promises that fell flat, to leadership scandals that shook confidence in Westminster, people are tired of political performances. And now, whenever someone outside the establishment, even a comedian, challenges the narrative, it sparks attention. Jim Davidson might not be an MP, but he represents a kind of raw, unpolished voice that doesn't filter through party talking points. And in today's climate, that authenticity, or at least the appearance of it, can be more powerful than policy. But here's what's really fascinating. While mainstream media outlets were cautious about covering Davidson's statement, independent platforms, YouTubers, and commentators ran with it immediately. Clips titled, "Jim Davidson Dares to Say It," or, "Finally, Someone Speaks Up About Labour," have already gained hundreds of thousands of views. It's a reminder of how the media landscape has changed. What starts as a single line on a live stream can ripple through the political ecosystem within hours, shaping public perception faster than any press release. And for Starmer's team, that's a problem. If people feel like there's something being hidden, whether there is or not, that feeling becomes the truth in the public's mind. As one Westminster insider put it in a late-night interview, "You don't need a scandal anymore. You just need a seed of doubt, and once it's planted, it grows on its own." That line might just define British politics in 2025. So where does this leave things? Right now, Davidson hasn't clarified his full meaning, and maybe he doesn't need to. He's achieved what few can, forcing a national conversation. Starmer's office hasn't directly addressed the viral clip yet, but sources close to the Prime Minister say he's aware of the comment and focused on delivering results, not distractions. Lammy, meanwhile, was seen leaving an event in North London, dodging questions about Davidson's remarks with a brief smile and a no comment. But behind the scenes, strategists know perception matters more than silence. And the public, they're watching closely. Because this isn't about one comedian's opinion. It's about a growing sense that politics feels polished, rehearsed, distant. And that the real conversations, the uncomfortable ones, only happen when outsiders dare to speak. So here's the question that lingers after all this noise. If Jim Davidson, a man known for laughs, not lectures, can stir this kind of reaction with one sentence, what does that say about the current state of trust in British politics? And more importantly, if this is just the beginning, how much deeper does it go? Because in 2025, truth isn't just about facts anymore, it's about who dares to say them out loud.